America Succeeds is founded on 3 core pillars, each with a direct impact on people's day-to-day lives. And we're going to hear from a couple of those people. We call them the real people. Fair pay with equal pay for women and a higher minimum wage. We are lucky in Illinois. We have a governor that is for raising the minimum wage, and his opponent who makes $25,000 an hour, who says, that's right, Bruce Rauner says he is adamantly opposed to raising the minimum wage. And I want to say to all my union friends who are here today, we know, all right, and my union sisters, because I'm a union member, know, if you want equal pay, one of the best ways to do it, join a union. Thank you, unions. Women want paid sick leave, and you know that most minimum wage workers, 80% of them, don't get a single day of sick leave, and we need affordable, quality, accessible child care for our kids. So we're going to be hearing from our members who have been on the bus, and I want to introduce them. If I can, oh, I don't need that. I can turn around and look. The woman whose idea it was from the great state of Connecticut, Rosa DeLauro. This was her idea. Riding all the way on this bus tour has been our great member from Maryland, the head of our Women's Democratic Working Group, Donna Edwards. From the great state of Ohio, Joyce Beatty. And from Illinois, our own Robin Kelly. And in a really tough race, it's Brad Schneider who is here. And you're going to be hearing from our wonderful candidate, Judge Ann Callis. And of course, from our great leader, Nancy Pelosi. You'll hear from her. Right now, I want to bring to you to welcome everybody here, because we're in his district, our dear friend, Danny Davis.
Thank you, Jan Schakowsky. I tell you, Illinois has it. Let me first of all welcome all of you to democratic country. And although there are a bunch of other labor unions here and we love them all, let me welcome you to Teamster City, the biggest assortment of Teamsters in America. And I want to remember that Brad Schneider is on that bus, but I agree with Brad, and Brad agrees with all of us, that when women succeed, America succeeds. When women succeed, children succeed. We need to make certain that every family has the opportunity for child care, so that as women go to work, they have a place to leave their children. We got to make sure that there's pay parity, equal pay for equal work done. And I tell you, when we've got our leader, Nancy Pelosi, leading the charge, there's no way we can lose. When women succeed, America succeeds.
And now I'm proud to bring up our newest member, Robin Kelly.
Thank you so much and good morning, and I'm thrilled to have my colleagues in Illinois with me. So I want to thank my colleagues in the United States House of Representatives for traveling throughout the Northeast and Midwest, from the state of my birth to the state of where I live now, to bring light to the issue of fairness for women and families across this nation. 42 years ago, Congress passed the Equal Rights Amendment to guarantee equal rights for American women. And although we've made progress leveling the playing field, we certainly have not done enough, and we have a long way to go. This is the United States of America, the most industrialized and one of the most progressive nations in the world. It amazes me that we lag behind so many other countries in terms of equal rights, pay, and privileges for American women, and we are going to change that with your help. For example, many other countries are providing affordable child care and paid sick leave, two programs that help women, their families, and our country succeed. However, many working moms without paid sick days are often forced to make the difficult choice to either send an ill child to daycare or school or sacrifice a day's pay. And far too many women don't even have the option of daycare. These days it's just too expensive, and so many working women don't have the community of family or friends that can help them. As a divorced single mom raising two kids, I was faced with these same challenges, barely making it from paycheck to paycheck. The Women Succeed agenda includes the Family Act, which would provide 12 weeks paid sick leave. Also, we have the Health Family Act, which would allow employees to have at least up to 7 days of paid sick leave. And also, we want to expand the child tax credit, and promote access and funds for affordable and quality child care. We can do this with your help, but we can't fight alone. We need you to stand up and speak out, because, repeat after me, when women succeed, America succeeds. Thank you.
I want to give a special shout out to a couple of other people who have been on the bus with us, groups that have been supporting us in the community. We have Judy Lichtman, the National Partnership of Women and Families Action Fund. Thank you, Judy. A great partner of ours has been the American Association of University of Women Action Fund. Lisa Metz has been on the bus the whole way. And I want to say a special thank you to the Teamsters for welcoming us here today, and also introduce Becky Strzowski, Central Region Vice President, Teamsters International Union. Thank you, Becky. Right here. You know, union women make $200 plus per week more than women who are not in a union. Just thought I'd point that out. Now I want to introduce Rhiannon Brachette, who is the mother of a special needs child, and she's going to talk to us about, really in a personal way, what the lack of paid leave means. Yay.
Hi, my name is Rhiannon Brachette, and I'm here to tell you how important it is for people like myself to have paid sick days and paid leave. I'm 25 years old. I'm the single mother of a 10-year-old named Alex. He's autistic. I am a student at NEIU University getting my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I've worked retail for many years, and when I got hired at Whole Foods Market, I was overjoyed, as many people rave at how good the pay rate is. But unfortunately, I soon found out that their attendance policy was very unfair and arbitrary. This past winter in Chicago, as many of you probably know, it's been really brutal. And when the polar vortex hit us, my son, who attends a Chicago public school, had to stay home as they closed the doors for the safety of the children. It was almost minus 20 degrees out during that period of time. Unfortunately, I came up short with backup daycare, as I only have a few family members and friends whom my son feels comfortable around. And so that left me in a spot where I had to stay home with him and miss my shift that day, or leave him home alone to make it to work and get paid. Whole Foods Market has a point system as an attendance policy. So if you're late or you're absent, despite the circumstance or what proof you have as to why this is happening, you're still going to receive that demerit, and that demerit sometimes leaves people like me with children or medical problems or accidents that happen due to something that we can't control in jeopardy of losing our jobs. Without the security of paid sick days or sick days in general, people are vulnerable to losing their jobs due to things that they have no control over. So when women succeed, America succeeds. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhiannon. Thank you, Rhiannon. Amazing story, right? The United States of America and only 2 other countries in the world don't offer paid maternity leave. Those are Oman and Papua New Guinea and the United States of America. That's terrible. Okay, Robin, you're going to come up here so we can introduce some of the elected officials. I know that Mariana Spiropoulos from the Water Reclamation District is here. Thank you, Mariana. Our Clerk of the Circuit Court, Dorothy Brown, is here. Thank you, Dorothy.
And our Alderman, Deborah Graham, is here. Raise your hand. And State Rep Camille Lilly is here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And Mayor Vivian Covington from University Park. I see you.
Okay, there we go. Okay, all right. Now it is my pleasure to introduce someone who is about to be the next Congresswoman from Illinois. We did very well in the last election cycle, but we left one race on the table. The race that was the closest in the United States of America, won by a Republican. And so this is a completely winnable race by the perfect candidate. Ann Callis stepped down from the bench where she served as a judge in Central Illinois in order to step forward now and take this seat. Our next Congresswoman from the 13th District, Judge Ann Callis.
Thank you. It's great to be here this morning. What energy. Thank you, crowd. Thank you. Yay! Well, I'm here to talk about the minimum wage. And isn't it time we raise the minimum wage? Yeah. 6 out of the 10 minimum wage earners in the state of Illinois are women. 6 out of the 10. Many of them heads of households. Now, when I've been traveling the district, women and men too, they're choosing between food and diapers. We need to raise the minimum wage immediately. Immediately. And you know, I had to resign as a judge to get into this race about a year ago. And I am in it full force to fight for you. Yeah. And that's what I'm going to do. But about a year ago, when I was contemplating whether to get in this race, there was, on Fox News, there was a rather heated debate. I think it was over our president's foreign policy. And there was a female commentator and a male commentator. And it got rather heated. And the male commentator pointed his finger at the woman and said, "Shut your mouth and know your role." This was about a year ago. So, ladies, we know our place, don't we? Yeah. In the house. Yeah, thank you.
That's right. Our place is in the House of Representatives. I got that right. A great new member of Congress. I call him the happiest freshman in a very tough race. Brad Schneider, his district runs all the way up to the Wisconsin border, and he is in a rematch now with the former Congressman Bob Dole. Boo. Okay. And it is very important that we are all geared up to help Brad Schneider win, because he is a great match for the district. He is a great congressman. He supports this women's agenda, and here he is, Brad Schneider.
Good morning. My success, without any question, is because of the success of women. And I'm here to talk about equality of pay for women, because all women should be paid equal for the same work they do as a man, period, stop. Growing up, my mom worked full-time. Her success allowed me to have my success as a student and going to college. When women succeed, we all succeed. One of my first bosses and mentors was a woman named Karen Blackwell. Her success was my success, and when women succeed, America succeeds. And I met my wife in graduate school. She has worked as long as I have known her. She is an amazing success, and without her success, without her partnership, I couldn't do anything I do. When women succeed, America succeeds. Yet in our country, we have a situation where too many women are working next to men in the same job as men, doing the same thing as men, sometimes doing better than men, and earning less than men. This is unacceptable. We need a country where everyone who works, who plays by the rules, is paid by the rules, and women should make the same as men for the same work, period. That's what this bus tour is about. I am so honored to share the stage and share the opportunity to work together with the women behind me, the men behind me. Together, men and women understand that when women succeed, America succeeds, and that's how we'll move this country forward. Thank you very much.
Okay. One of the major issues, of course, that we are dealing with is the issue of wage discrimination. Women, on average, making 77 cents an hour to what men make. And if you're African American, it's about 64 cents to every dollar that a man makes, or a Latina, 55 cents to every dollar. It happens, however, across the board. And we want to hear from Stephanie Victor, a former engineer, on the issue of wage discrimination.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Victor, and for the past 8 years, I've been a vocal activist for fair pay. I'm here today to share my experience with wage discrimination. I didn't start working as a babysitter when I was 12 years old to save money to go to college, just so when I could go out, when I got out, I could throw up my hands and say, why bother? Well, I did that later in 1996 as one of only 2 female mechanical engineers working for the Midwest's largest engineering and consulting firm here in Chicago. My boss mistakenly left the sheet of paper listing everyone's pay and bonuses for that year next to the printer we shared. Well, it wasn't so good. I was making 15% less than the guy next to me, who only had a technical certificate from a community college, never wore a suit, but I guess the rationale was he did have a family to feed. I had a husband. I remedied my pay discrimination when I met with the owner of the company 36 hours later and gave him fair and just reasons about what I felt I should be paid. I was given larger, challenging projects with more client contact than my colleague. I was leading a team to design and build the addition to the Museum of Science and Industry. He was doing office rehabs. We both had the same titles. While it took me just 10 minutes, it is often much harder to determine and hold one's employer accountable for wage discrimination. Without the Paycheck Fairness Act, employers can continue to exploit loopholes in the Equal Pay Act and retaliate against employees who disclose their wages. In April, our own Senator Mark Kirk voted to block debate on the Paycheck Fairness Act. Again and again, he's been bad on that issue, and House Republicans won't even bring it up for a vote, at a time when women's paychecks are more critical than ever to their families and our economy. In November, let's stop their paychecks and vote out those members of Congress who can't seem to exist in the 21st century. All workers deserve the chance to succeed, and hard work deserves equal pay.
a couple more shout outs. I want to introduce a couple people from the Teamsters again, Liz Belcaster and Mick Yeager, who have done so much to help so many, including our vets that are coming home and need good jobs. So thank you. Okay. Well, if anybody doubts that elections really matter, our next and last speaker is the prime example of the difference that it makes. When Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House, we raised the minimum wage. When Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House, the first bill signed into law was the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act. When Nancy Pelosi was Speaker, we had the most productive session of Congress since the 1960s. Unlike when the Republicans are in charge, this is the single least productive session of Congress. Elections really matter. So Nancy Pelosi was the first, in my view, the best Speaker of the House. The former and future Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
Good morning, Chicago. Good morning, Illinois. Good morning, Democrats. I thought there were some in the House. Thank you all very much for being here this morning. Thank you for being there for America's working families every day. To our members of the official family of the area, to our friends in labor, thank you all, to the leaders and to all of you gathered here today, so that I and all of us can say thank you to you for sending Jan Schakowsky to the Congress of the United States, for sending Danny Davis to the Congress of the United States, for sending Robin Kelly to the Congress of the United States, for sending a new member, Brad Schneider, to the Congress of the United States. I'm honored to be here with my colleagues. We join in thanking you for sending so many members last time. Bill Enyart, Jim Foster, Tammy Duckworth. These are all applause lines. Sherry Bustos, one more, and Brad Schneider. And Brad Schneider. But we have a little more work to do. We must re-elect them all and send Ann Callis to join them to the Congress of the United States. I'm sure all of us gathered here on the stage, my colleagues who have been part of the Women on a Roll tour, would agree that as many elected officials as we have here, our true celebrities today, our true VIPs are Rhiannon Bouchat and Stephanie Victor. Thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you for sharing your stories with them. Because their stories drive home the urgency, the need for us to enact when women succeed, America succeeds. Jan, when she opened her remarks, she said that this all started in Seneca Falls. It did, almost 166 years ago. It took 70 years for women to get the right to vote. And when women got the right to vote, the papers and the news said, women given the right to vote. Well, that simply didn't happen. Women fought, women marched, women starved, women were force-fed, women spoke out in the community, they spoke up at home, even a harder thing to do. 70 years, the right to vote. Since that time, over 90 years since then, we have some unfinished business. We have some unfinished business. 50 years ago, President Kennedy signed the Equal Pay Act. And in the recommendations of the commission that was established, headed by Eleanor Roosevelt, they said we have to have affordable child care, we have to raise the minimum wage, we have to have equal pay for equal work, we have to, all of these things that we are still fighting for. Well, we are going to get it done now. We are going to get it done now. Rhiannon and Stephanie and my colleagues have spelled out the need. Jan referenced and others referenced the legislation. We passed the first bill signed by President Barack Obama, the Lilly Ledbetter Act. That was mentioned by Jen. We sent over the Paycheck Fairness Act, and as Stephanie mentioned, it was blocked by the Republicans, but it has been passed by the House Democrats when we were in the majority on more than one time, and that bill is Rosa DeLauro's bill. Rose is also the author of the Family Act, which is about paid sick leave, which we must have. The president has called for, in the third leg of the stool, pay equity, paid sick leave, the third leg of the stool, quality, affordable child care. Parents, children learning, parents earning. Really important for children, for families. And the president has advanced in his budget and his proposals to have a universal pre-K. Very, very important. But we need to do more. We have to go very young. And we have that bill. George Miller, Tom Harkin have the bill that take us down to earliest childhood education. This is so very, very important. So we know what the need is. It's long overdue to get it done. We have the legislation. We just need 17 votes to get it done. 17 votes. 17 votes for women. It's right within our grasp. And it's not just for women. It's paid leave and child care and the rest. It's not just for women. It's for families. And the paid leave, the child care piece probably is the most important element in women being able to start their own businesses. This is not just about women as employees. It's about women as employers. And we want to salute the entrepreneurship of women. And that takes me to my next point, which is this statement that we're making, when women succeed, Americans succeed, it's not just the title of our economic agenda for women and families. It is a statement of fact. When women succeed, America does succeed. And if you were, suppose we were gathered here and we said, let's walk out the door with our proposal for job creation and growth in our country. We would say what would be important to make it in America, American-made, simple as ABC, American-made, build the infrastructure of America, C, respect community, whether it's our police, our fire, our teachers, and the rest, and again, collective bargaining, part of that, C. But the overlay of that, what is the single most important thing to grow the U.S. economy is to involve women in the economic growth of America. Other countries know this. Other countries know this. They're taking action to do it. The strongest growth in our economy are women-owned businesses, minority women-owned businesses. So it's right there. It's right there for us to have an economy, as the president says, that works for everyone, not just the privileged few. And aren't we proud of our president? Yeah, we're very proud of our president. So Rhiannon and Stephanie, he changes his, every 5 minutes it's going to be every 2 minutes, it's going to be every woman on the stage, and you better get ready for your campaign too, because he's Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Rhiannon and Stephanie will tell your story. We've been listening to stories for over a year around the country because that's where the power of it is. How does this hit home? And I'll just tell you this one story told by a school bus driver to us in Rose's district, actually. She said, I want to tell you what I see every school day. Every school day, my bus pulls up to the curb. I see a mom there with tears in her eyes, and I know what's going to happen. But as Robin says, I know she's going to put a sick child on the bus because she has absolutely no choice. She can't stay home from work because she'd be docked pay, and she cannot afford that. Even if she did it too often, she'd no longer have a job. Secondly, she has not one day of paid sick leave. Third of all, she cannot afford child care. It's just out of the question. Some people are paying much more than they pay on their mortgages for child care. And it's questionable as to whether it's even the quality child care they need. So it's all three legs of the stool. Pay leave, child care, affecting women across the country. As Congresswoman Kelly said in her comment, they have no choice but to put that sick child on the bus. That can't possibly be the way it is in the greatest country that ever existed in the history of the world. That cannot possibly be. We know the challenge, we have the legislation, we need the votes. And that's why we've taken this initiative on the road. Women on a roll, not just figured literally on the bus, but women on a roll to pass equal pay, the Paycheck Fairness Act, raise the minimum wage, paid sick leave, the Family Act, affordable equality child care. It is the missing link in the evolution of the progress of women in our country. We are women on a roll. You are people on the roll, and the hopes of these women are riding on us. We must get the job done. 17 votes between an economy that works for everyone or a budget that is a road to ruin for many in our community. This election, there's so much at stake, but women have so much at stake in it. We've got to turn out the vote. We know last election we got 1.5 million more votes than the Republicans, but that did not add up to a majority in the House. So are you ready to go out there and continue the role for us for these issues, for us to win these elections so that our president can have a Congress that works together in a bipartisan way rather than an obstructionist, very partisan Congress that obstructs every initiative he puts forward for job creation, for growth in our economy, for respect for everyone in our society. It's a pretty exciting time. It's very doable, and Illinois had made the difference in giving us an additional 4 seats last time while holding the Costello seat with General Enyart. We need Annie Callis. Are you ready to get the job done? Are you ready to make it happen? So I'll just adjust our statement. You know what it is. I'll start with this. When women vote, women succeed. And when women succeed, America succeeds. Thank you all very much.